If you're new to spearing, this video is very important. You need to watch it. This is safety tips for when you're out spearing because it is very dangerous, and I know some of you out there may want to take your kids out with you. This video was inspired by my coworker Jake, who was watching one of my videos with his daughter. And Jake's daughter, if you're watching, make him give you some ice cream. All right, let's start with the boat and the trailer. First off, you want to make sure your boat can float. If it don't float, you ain't going out on the water. Second of all, you want to make sure your trailer is in good operation order. You want to make sure your lights work. Plug them in. Test them out before you go. Make sure the brake lights work on your trailer, because if people can't see you stopping, they're going to run into the back end of your boat, destroy your motor, destroy your boat. You can't go spearing. Just make sure everything's good and working order, and you'll be ready to get out on that water. Always make sure your batteries are charged. We have one here for the boat, one here for the lights, because safety is the key. When you're out at night, you want other boats to see you. If they can't see you, they don't know you're there, and they could run into you. So always make sure you have your lights on your boat so people know where you are out on that water, because safety is the key. And it's good also to possibly take out a third one in case one of your batteries fails. You have a third battery to help you get on your way. You can't see the fish, you can't get no fish. So always make sure your batteries are fully charged. Now you got to make sure you got plenty of gas. It's no fun being out on the lake and run out of gas. It's happened to me before. And you got to paddle yourself all the way back to shore. And if you're away from your launch too far, you're going to be doing a lot of paddling. Also, make sure your boat motor's running in tip-top shape. Try to get it serviced no later than every other year. It's best to do it every year. May cost you a little money, but it saves you a lot in the long run. Because if it ain't peeing, it ain't running. Always have a dry box in your boat with you. That way you can put your phone, your wallet, your boat registrations, and your fishing license inside. Because if you get pulled over by the DNR, it's going to be one short night if you ain't got that stuff with you. Also put a scale in it. That way you can test and see how much the fish weighs when you bring it in. You never know, you might get a record breaker in there. Also, always have an oar, because you might forget to check that gas and you need to get to shore. You can't get to shore if you ain't got gas. So always have that boat oar ready. Make sure you have plenty of life jackets. I go out and solo a lot. I always have one on and keep a second one on hand. I also have 2 flotation seats. It's best to have more than less. So for every person in your boat, at least have 1 flotation device handy. It's the law. You need to have them. If you get pulled over by the DNR in the middle of the lake and you don't have the proper equipment, they can cite you a ticket and make you go back to the launch. And that'd be bad for a spearing night if you got sent back before you even got any fish in the boat. So always remember, have plenty of flotation devices. I always carry 2 life jackets and 2 flotation seats, because you never know what you're going to find when you're out there with the water levels going up and down depending on how dry or wet it is. Anything in the water when you're not paying attention can cause you to have problems. So always remember, have plenty of flotation devices inside your boat for the number of people you have in your boat, and the more the merrier. Now, when you're standing at the front end of your boat, footing is key. You want to make sure it's slip resistant. You want to make sure it's sturdy. As you can see, I got spears laying next to me so I can reach down and grab another spear if I lose one or have a fish on another one. These things are sharp, so always watch your footing, because you will move around in the heat of the moment and you might spear yourself. I always wear boots when I go out. That way, there's less chance of me getting my feet penetrated by a spearhead. Now, while you're out on the lake, you want to go at a slow, steady pace. You don't want to go too fast. You don't want to go too slow. Because if you go too fast, you're going to miss fish. If you go too slow, you're going to miss fish. You don't want to accelerate super fast when you have a partner on. Just a slow, steady pace. Because if you go too fast, you can send them back into the boat. And if you stop too fast, they could go overboard over the front of the boat. So remember, slow, steady pace wins the race. Those fish are going to be there. All you got to do is approach them nice and slow, keep that light locked on them, and you'll do fine. Just always remember, slow and steady pace. Now, when changing positions inside the boat, it's always best to have the person who's standing at the front of the boat move to the center of the boat, then the person who's driving the boat put it in neutral, stand up, move slowly to the center of the boat. Person in the front of the boat holds the spear so the person in the back of the boat can grab a hold of it. That way, no one gets impaled by a spearhead, because that would not make a fun day. But always move slowly when you're out in open water, because boats move a lot out in water. They shift back and forth, side to side. Footing is the key again, as it is when you're standing in front of the boat. Footing is key. Just make sure everyone stays safe. Switch places nice and slowly. Person moving to the rear of the boat sits down first before the person that's moving to the front of the boat gets up on the platform. That way, there's not a lot of swaying back and forth, and you guys can have a safe trip. The key to a safe spearing trip is always watching what's around you, what your partner's doing, and what's going on underneath the water. Because you can hit stumps, you could hit dock posts that you didn't know were there. Always know your surroundings. That's the key to spearing and being safe. Making sure you have the right gear, you know where your spears are, you know where your partner is. If you're out solo, always make sure someone knows where you're at all times. So I always let my wife know exactly where I'm going, and I also let my cousin know where I'm going. That way, if something happens and I can't call them, they know where to send first responders to come look for me. So always remember to let people know where you are when you're out on the water. It's the safest thing you can possibly do. Always know where your gear's at inside your boat so you don't happen to fall on it or someone else falls on it. Safety is the key. Just stay safe out there, everybody, and have a good time spearing. I know I do. I can't wait for this ice to be off these lakes so I can get out there. I hope this was helpful to you guys, and stay safe.